On the 1st of April 2023, a LOTRO YouTuber by the name of Louis7 made a video titled The Corsair Class in LOTRO, in which he talks about the new Corsair Class gameplay and its lore and inspiration. But you will notice there are a few odd things about the video. First of all, Louis7 does not usually wear hats in his videos. His cats also do not remain just peacefully sitting there throughout an entire recording. Therefore, I'm not even sure that was Louis7. Perhaps it was the infamous Louis6. But even setting that aside, what you will see is that Louis7 has previously mentioned that the next class in LOTRO is not going to be the Corsair. But an interesting note is that Cordovan, the community manager from Standing Stone Games, confirmed that Corsair is not the name of the upcoming class. I mean, Corsair doesn't even make sense because the Corsairs of Umbar are enemies of the free people in the Lord of the Rings. I thought Corsair could make sense. Oh yeah, and don't even get me started on Grumok. Did you know that Grumok is not actually a book written by J.R.R. Tolkien? So what is the deal with this video by Louis7? Well, we have Louis7 here to answer some questions and set the record straight. Hey everyone, and thank you Louis7 for having me here. For anybody unfamiliar, I am Louis7 and I make a lot of LOTRO videos, currently working on a goal of 15,000 subscribers, so consider subscribing to help me reach that. But yes, I know the truth about the Corsair class in LOTRO and that video made by Louis7. As you mentioned, there are a lot of suspicious things going on in that video, such as Louis7's getup and even some unusual idiosyncrasies. Even the writing style of the video and script was not in Louis7's usual format. But to catch you all up on the Corsair and LOTRO, it all started in early 2023 when the producer's letter to the players announced a new class coming with the new expansion for fall 2023. And because we are headed to Umbar that expansion, it makes sense that the new class would be similar to a pirate, considering that is a major theme of the Corsairs of Umbar and their, well, pirate ships. And as it ever so often happens in LOTRO, in the Update 35 beta, some players data mined information about Corsairs and other things pointing towards a swashbuckler type class. This caused a lot of reports that Corsair was going to be the name of the class, even if they are actually an evil archetype in Middle Earth. But it actually follows a similar justification to the Beorning class and the High Elf race, where in lore, the Beorning or High Elf that you play as a character is pretty much the only one actually adventuring through Middle Earth, not the hundreds or even like thousands that you might see in reality because LOTRO is an MMO. But as it turns out, the LOTRO community manager confirmed that the upcoming class is not going to be named Corsair. That said, I still think it's really exciting to speculate about the new class and its possibilities. In Louis7's video, he even mentioned that Corsairs would have new mechanics, and it's entirely possible that whatever the new class ends up being called, it could bring some like new and exciting gameplay to LOTRO. A lot of people currently are leaning towards the swashbuckler name, and I have also seen Mariner thrown around quite a bit. Both of these would be more generic pirate type names that could actually very well be a free people's class. But just to confirm, at this point we do not 100% know the name of the upcoming class. Now, I also actually know the secret of what caused Louis7's video to be so far off when for the most part he usually has good information. I mean, Louis7 even accurately predicted Harad for the fall 2023 expansion way back in 2021. But back to the secret, Louis7's editor, known as Louis7, must have snuck this into the final cut without Louis7 actually noticing, because at the end of the video, we can see a thank you letter to a so-called ChatGPT for writing the video and a postscript thank you to Jimmy Thornshield for actually giving him the idea for the video in the first place. So as it turns out, Louis7 prompted the artificial intelligence called ChatGPT to write the video script, and that actually explains some of the abnormalities in the language and just the script layout. But it actually goes even further than that, because Louis7 used an AI generated image for the Grumok book cover, taken actually from Jimmy Thornshield's prompt. But speaking of Grumok, Grumok is also completely made up by ChatGPT, which was prompted to tell a story of a friendly half-orc Corsair in the Lord of the Rings. The book called Grumok does not actually exist, and as far as I know, there's actually no Grumok anywhere in the Lord of the Rings lore. Furthermore, Louis 7 used another AI-generated image for the thumbnail. I mean, look at this supposed LOTRO-style Corsair, and you have to ask, one, like, why is he wearing gold armor? Because that does not actually match the Corsairs of Umbar, color schemes, or even styles. And also, why does he have elf-like pointy ears when otherwise he actually looks like a human, almost like Gandalf, if he is actually supposed to be a half-orc representative of Grumok? And for the final nail in the coffin, the video description was even written by ChatGPT. That was prompted for a good search engine optimization just so Louis 7 could get more views. Man, that is crazy. This is some incredible reporting there, Louis 7. But honestly speaking, it really just actually makes me more excited to find out about the new class in LOTRO. While it won't be called the Corsair, there are many gameplay themes from Louis 7's video that could actually be really exciting for the game. I imagine Standing Stone Games will want to capitalize as much as possible on the nautical themes with the new class. And while it was confirmed there wouldn't be a naval combat system, there still could be new gameplay mechanics with this class. If it is a swashbuckler, we could have a class that just uses a single one-handed cutlass as a weapon. And while LOTRO already has tons and tons of melee classes, there are mechanics missing from these melee classes, such as a single one-hander style class that unleashes a flurry of blows, as well as a quick heavy attack for bleeds for high damage. And even if we look beyond the stereotypical pirate archetype, perhaps the new class could be something completely different with like a ranger or melee runekeeper. Although honestly that might end up being a missed opportunity for Standing Stone Games to actually capitalize on us sailing to Umbar. So comment with what type of class you would like to see. Oh, and before I go, one more thing to point out is have a look here at the date of Louis 7's video on the Corsair. And then also pay close attention to this ending. This may be a familiar scene if you have seen the Lord of the Rings theatrical films. Fool of a took. That sounds great. Thank you again, Louis 7, for joining me on this video where we got to the bottom of the Corsair class in LOTRO. As Louis mentioned, please comment with your thoughts on the Corsair. And for our final message, I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.